Good evening, everyone. We are going to start our session in a few minutes. Let's wait for a few minutes and see who are going to join us, because we have already more than 15 people registered, so we have to wait for them in order to start our session. I would like to mention that you can write down your questions through the chat box, and after the initial introduction to the EWC, we will have a Q&A session, and you will be welcome to ask your questions, and definitely I will try to answer to every question. So you can start writing your questions on chat box until we will reach to the Q&A session. By the way, our session is being streamed directly through our Facebook page. So welcome to those people also who have already joined to our Facebook page. We are recording this session through Facebook, and we are going to share it also through our through EPIC's YouTube channel. So it will be accessible later for those people who couldn't join our session today. I will wait for 4 minutes, and exactly at 8:05, I will start the session in order to fit in our limited time that we have. Okay, I think we have to start. First of all, I want to introduce myself. I am Nejde Hovanesyan. I am the Assistant Director of Entrepreneurship and Product Innovation Center at American University of Armenia, which stands for EPIC at AUA. Also, I am the National Coordinator of EWC in Armenia. And as you see through the slides that I am going to show, that EPIC at AUA is the national organizer of EWC for the second year. This time, we are the national organizer of Entrepreneurship World Cup in Armenia. The global hosts for this global event our Global Entrepreneurship Network, GEN, and also Monshaat, which is the Saudi Arabia's entrepreneurship promotion center. They are the global hosts of this year's competition. But what is important that in Armenia, we have also co-organizers in addition to EPIC, such as Ministry of High-Tech Industry, such as European Union for Armenia, which is the EU for Business Program through GIZ Armenia, Startup Foundation, Startup Armenia Foundation, Tumo Labs, National Center of Innovation and Entrepreneurship, NCIE, and also Team Telecom Armenia. This is the first info session. As I mentioned, we are going to have the second info session next week, the same time. And during the second info session, we are going to have also guests from our previous year's winners, national winners. But today we will have a very short introduction to EWC, and we will have also Q&A session in order to answer your potential questions. So, what is EWC? EWC stands for Entrepreneurship World Cup. It is the world's largest entrepreneurship ecosystem, one of the ecosystem, and maybe one of the largest competitions around the globe. Last year, actually, more than 400,000 entrepreneurs participated in Entrepreneurship World Cup 2021. And above 200 countries, actually 213 countries participated in last year's competition. The competition includes also training, resources, connections, mentorship, international mentorship connections and resources. And what is important also is that there is a 1 million in cash prize fund and about 10 million in kind support and additional investment opportunities for those startups who are going to become the global finalists 2022. This year, also like previous year, the first winner of EWC global competition is going to receive $500,000 in cash. The second place is going to receive $250,000 in cash, and the third runner will receive $100,000 in cash, and all actually 100 global finalists are going to receive from this fund of about 10 million in kind services. What is important is that actually we are in our Armenia as the national organizer and national competition. We are going to have also prizes, both in cash and also in kind prizes in Armenia too. But you have to follow us because we are going to announce it very soon. The number and the amount of our cash and in-kind prizes are going to be announced quite soon, but yet I am not going to open this subject today. So please remember that still the amount of our cash and in-kind prizes for Armenia is not announced, and so I am not going to share these data with you at the moment, actually. Also, what is important that all startups are eligible to participate in EWC globally. What is important that startups are being divided into 3 different stages. Idea stage, which is basically about startups, those startups that are still in their very initial stages of startup creation and building a team, and basically are focused on their problem solution fit process. The second group are early stage startups, those startups who have already their MVP and are getting some initial traction. So they are focused on their product market fit. And we have also growth stage startups who are looking for growth in their market, in their customer base, and they are looking beyond what they have currently. So all startups are eligible to participate, and all startups can participate in Armenia, in Armenian competition. And the only limitation is that if they are going to receive any kind of award or prize, either in Armenian national competition or globally, those startups have to be registered in Armenia. So in that case that you are going to win in any stage of our competition, you have to be registered in Armenia. So the only limitation is that when you are going to receive the award, you have to be registered in Armenia. And because of that, this year we are open also for those startups who are recently relocated in Armenia. If they are going to be registered in Armenia, we will be happy to integrate them in the competition. And also, as you see in this figure, we have startups from different verticals, industry verticals, such as big data, AI, blockchain, clean tech, ed tech, energy and sustainability, fintech, food tech, agri-tech, health and wellness, IoT, manufacturing and infrastructure, media and entertainment, mobile, mobility and transportation, robotics, SaaS and enterprise software, security, space, VR, AR, and also others. So when you are going to be registered on the global platform of EWC, because those startups who are interested to enter and to submit their application to EWC, they have to be registered on the global platform of EWC. We are not running the application process in Armenia. It is being done by the Central Office of Entrepreneurship World Cup. So you have to apply on the Entrepreneurship World Cup's platform. I will provide you with the links later. But for the time being, please remember that you have to choose Armenia as the country of your origin. And also, you have to also define at least and maximum, I would say, the preferable amount of verticals, 1 or 2 verticals related or relevant to the field of your activity. Please don't choose more than 2 because it's going to be confusing for the judges or the judgment process. And in order to facilitate the judgment process, my suggestion, based on our previous year experiences, is to choose maximum 2 or 3, not more than 3 verticals. And if you didn't find any relevant vertical to your field of activity, you have to choose the other option and you have to define your vertical based on that. As you see, there are plenty of other nations participating in this global competition. And let's talk about the process of the competition globally. As you see here, starting from May to July, the EWC Accelerate is open for those who are going to be registered in EWC platform. So when you as a startup will be registered, and also you will submit your full application to EWC website, you will receive the EWC Accelerate package, which is a guidance package which will help you in different aspects of your participation. It is a kind of online acceleration tool. You can choose that and it will be quite helpful for you. And then, as you see in August, not the global, this is the global standard, August and September, there we are going to have the EWC qualifiers. It is national qualifier. Each country will have its own qualifier process. I'm going to define our qualifying process also very soon. And in the third stage of the process, those startups who will enter, who will be registered as national winners of the national cups, they will enter the group stage of the global entrepreneurship competition, and they will have an online boot camp based on this group stage and the online boot camp. Those startups who we are going to present as our national competition, our anticipation for the time being, at least we have one place in this group stage for Armenia, but it depends to the number of our Armenian participants, and also how we are going to manage the process in Armenia. Hopefully we will receive, like last year, we will receive an extra spot also in the group stage, hopefully. But for the time being, we have just one national winner. We have to, let's say, select and introduce or register one national winner for this group stage or bootcamp. And from this group stage and bootcamp, based on the due diligence that the international jury is going to do, they are going to define the top 100 global finalists who in November will fly to Riyadh, Saudi Arabia, and will participate in the global finals of this competition. And later, after the competition, all these 100 startups are going to receive post-EWC support from the EWC and also GEN Global, different entities of GEN, such as the investment entity, such as the mentorship entity. So there are plenty of opportunities there available for our global finalists. But what is going to happen in Armenia? So actually, as you know already, that we have opened our application process from the 1st of June. Actually, it is opened globally. But when we are going to close Armenian application process, it is, as we have already announced, 5th of July. So 5th of July, applications are going to be closed, and there will be no more chance for submitting your application after July 5th. And after that, we will do the screening process. What does it mean? Because when you are applying to EWC international platform, what is important is that you have to submit your application as full as possible, as well detailed as possible. If you miss anything, there is a huge chance that you will not enter the competition. So one of our roles as organizers is to check your applications. And usually, because it is centralized by EWC, every time that we see that one of your applications miss an important component, it's very difficult, but sometimes we will have the chance to ask the central office to open your submitted application, and we will give you maximum 24 or maximum 48 hours to resubmit your application in order to make it as completed as possible. So until July 15, everybody is going to be, every process related to finalization is going to be finished. And we are going to announce our participants. Last year, 8 of the submitted applications unfortunately couldn't enter the competition because they didn't answer to our pledges in order to resubmit their application. So they didn't enter the application process. And after that, in July, until July 25, the first stage of our competition is the competition based on the verticals, industry vertical related judgment. So judges, different judges, relevant judges to your selected verticals. Let's say you have announced that you are EdTech startup and you have also AI solution integrated in your startup. So in this case, you are going to be judged by 2 different judges, 2 types of judges. Those judges who are allocated or assigned to AI field, and those judges who are allocated to EdTech. And until July 25, we are going to finalize this vertical judgment, and based on this judgment, and these judgments are completely going to be online based on through the EWC platform. And judges are going to enter the EWC platform. They are going to judge you based on your application, nothing beyond your application. So your application is very much important, because if you miss to complete your application, even if you enter the process after screening, judges will not have any chance to, let's say, connect with you in order to ask questions. So you have to be as articulate as possible in your application process. And later, in July 25, we are going to announce our semifinalists. Semifinalists will participate in the semifinals, which are going to be face-to-face, not online, face-to-face program. We are going to announce soon the venue and location and the exact time of the semifinals. Each team, each semifinalist will come to the venue that we are going to announce later. They will participate in the live pitching session. They will do a live pitch for the jury members, and they are going to judge you in place. And later we will announce our finalists. And our final event, which is going to be in August 13th, is going to be a public event, because our semifinals are not going to be public, although they are going to be a face-to-face and live competition. But the live competition of our finalists are going to be a, let's say, live event. It is going to be actually live streamed through EWC network globally. So everywhere globally, they are going to be able to watch our national finals in Armenia in August 13th. Let me just give you a few statistics about, or few facts about what we did last year. Last year, the registrations on the EWC platform was about 300, not about, exactly actually 300 registrations, out of which 101 startups submitted. It means that they finalized their application. And as I mentioned earlier, about 8 of them, or actually nine of them, didn't pass the screening process. So we had 92 participants in the national competition of 2021. Out of these 92, 32 have been selected as semi-finalists. And then later we had 12 finalists. Actually, out of these 12 finalists, 6 of them were from early stage startups, because early stage startups are being compared and judged by early stage startups. Idea stage startups their competition is completely separated, and growth stage startups are also separated. So we had 12 startups, out of which 6 startups were from early stage, and we had also from, as much as I remember, 3 from growth stage and 3 from idea stage startups. So what was interesting also for the previous year, was that, as I mentioned earlier, we received 1 extra slot in the global competition, because as I mentioned, as a small nation with small number of population, we have just 1 assigned EWC space or place or slot in the EWC global finals. But last year, because 100 startups participated in the Armenian national competition, and also our job as organizers have been done quite well. So the global EWC organizers decided that Armenia will receive 2 places instead of 1 in the global finals. So last year, Denovo Science and also Zoomerang represented Armenia in the what we call group stage or the bootcamp stage. And what was the great achievement, that both of them had been selected actually in the global top 100. So both of them were in global top 100, and out of them, actually what was interesting, that because of the COVID, they couldn't arrange participation of 100 startups in Riyadh for the global finals. And because of that, the organizers decided to, let's say, select the top 25. And the good news was that Denovo Science from Armenia was also in that EWC top 25. They participated in the global final. Next week, hopefully, we will have the next info session that we are going to have. We will have a representative from both Denovo Science and Zoomerang with us. They will share their own experience through the EWC process with us, which I think will be quite exciting for those people who are interested to participate in this year's competition. So what I want to tell you is that what is important here is that you have to start your registration process as soon as possible. When you register on your platform, there is no need to submit your submit your application immediately. You can build your application gradually every day, and you can submit it when you will be sure that it is completed. So don't let's say wait for a later date. You can register even today. You can register already. About 40 startups have already started their registration process. So that is quite good news for us. One important thing here, as you see in the slides, we have two QR codes here. The left side QR code is for the registration. It will guide you directly to our registration platform. The second one is very much important because I assume that you will find the answer of at least 80% of your potential questions in this FAQ that you can find in our actually EPIC's website. The link is going to EPIC, one page in EPIC website. I would suggest to definitely read all the questions and answers there before finalizing your submission. Also, you can write us directly to EPIC through ewc.epic@aua.am. You can call us during working hours through the number provided here. And definitely, I would suggest to follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn through these provided links. I think by this slide, I have to close my introductory part. And now I am ready to answer your potential questions. Let me check the chat box in order to see if there is any questions. Sophie John, do we have any? The recording will be completely accessible through Facebook and also YouTube channel. You can suggest the recording to your friends and colleagues in order to engage also your other team members. Maybe it could be quite helpful. Do we have any questions from those people who are already in our Zoom discussion? If you have any questions, you can raise your hand and I will be happy to answer your potential questions. I want to, because we don't have any specific question for the time being, I want to emphasize that first of all, please consider that you have to submit to EWC as a startup, not as an individual. Please remember that. You have to choose your stage, which will be either idea stage, early stage, and growth stage. One potential question is that social entrepreneurs or social startups, are they eligible for EWC? Yes, they are. And even we have a specific global award allocated to social entrepreneurship. So that is the good news. The minimum age of participation is 18 for those startup members who are going to participate as early and growth stage startups. But if you have an idea stage startup, even if you are under 18, you are eligible to participate. So under 18 people should be part of an idea stage startup, not above idea stage startups. I already shared the, oh, okay, it's something very important, that all startups who are going to apply for EWC should be maximum 7 years old by November 2022. It means that by the global finals. If you will be more than 7 years old as a startup, you will not be eligible to participate in EWC competition. So less than 7 years, please. As I mentioned about verticals, which are very important issue, please remember about that. There is no fee for registration for EWC. It is free of charge. If you have participated in our previous year's Entrepreneurship World Cup Armenia, if you haven't won any kind of prize from EWC Armenia, so you are still eligible to participate in 2022. Only those startups who have received awards from EWC are not eligible to participate in this year's competition. I mentioned that startups, there is no requirement to have a Armenian registration. I mean, your company will be to be registered in Armenia. There is no need as a pre-requirement for participation or submission in EWC. But later, if you will receive any kind of award from EWC Armenia and or EWC Global, you have to be registered only, not, you have to register in Armenia. The application deadline is for 5th of July, which is not working day in Armenia. Please remember that. We as qualifiers, I mentioned that Armenian national qualifier is divided to 2 phases, semifinals and finals. Semifinals are going to be on the 1st and 2nd of August, and finals are going to be on 13th. I mentioned about the verticals. I mentioned about the awards. The official language, this is very much important. Please remember, the official language of EWC Armenia and EWC Global is English. So unfortunately, if you are not ready to pitch in English, you are not going to be eligible to participate in our competition, even if you have passed to semifinals. For example, last year, unfortunately, we had 2 semifinalists who couldn't participate in the semifinal competition because they were not ready to pitch in English. Because the global competition is English, so we are restricted to accept only those who are going to pitch in English. The location of the semifinals and finals is not finalized yet, but definitely they are going to be in Yerevan, the capital. I mentioned about the live and virtual parts of the competition. I mentioned about our representatives in the global group stage. I mentioned also about how we are going to in semifinals and finals, we are going to have 2 separate jury teams, jury team. They are going to be different, and they are going to be from not only Armenian experts, I mean experts from Armenia. Hopefully we will have also international jury members. I mentioned about the accelerate process globally when you are going to submit your application. I mentioned about the EWC Global Finals, which is going to happen this year in Riyadh in November. What you are going to expect from the EWC if you are going to be selected as global finals. Based on our previous year's experience, just one member from your team as global finalist will be invited to participate in the bootcamp in Riyadh. The EWC is going to cover the transportation and the accommodation expenses for one representative from your team. That's all from my side. If you have any questions, I will be happy to answer that. If there is no question, I would suggest to read the FAQ once again. I would suggest to read the FAQ, start the application process to registering on EWC Global Platform. Once again, don't hesitate to contact us through our email and also through phone during the office hours. And also, please follow up us through Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn. We are updating regularly our news on related to EWC on those three social media channels. Thank you everyone for the participation. Once again, if you have any questions, I am accessible now. If there is no question, we can finalize and end our meeting today. Sophie, do we have any questions? Maybe previously, because I don't see the previous chats. If there is question, please remind me. Otherwise, let's end the conversation. I will stop the share. Okay, thank you, everybody. Hopefully, we will meet you in person during the semifinals. Hopefully, you will be one of our semifinalists. And hopefully, at the end to this finals also. Thank you very much for participation. Have a good evening and night. And see you on EWC competition. Thank you. Bye-bye.